Alright, before we get in this video, I just got to talk about something really quickly in regards to the show that I just released the teaser for, Galactic Gunners. Now, I'm working on this series right now. The first episode is complete, but I haven't finished any of the other ones, though the scripts are done, but I'm working on it. Now, the question that I pose to you who are interested in the show, because I want to get a best gauge as possible, do you want the episodes as soon as they're out, or do you want me to complete production on all of them, meaning that they'll come out, like, later this year? Basically, it's like, you get them first, but there's bigger gaps in between the episodes, or you get them all, but at a later date. Just let me know in the comments. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the topic. You guys know that I love Uncharted. It's one of my favorite franchises. I bought the PS4 basically for Uncharted 4, along with Infamous, which massively disappointed, but that's besides the point. And now, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection has been announced, as we all really expected, coming to the PS4 in October. I suppose you're gonna say, oh, well, you're probably buying it, Fringy. And at first, I was gonna, mainly because I wanted to play them back through at 60 FPS. I didn't really get a chance to do a lot of the multiplayer when it first came out, because back then my tastes in games were less than stellar. Mostly COD, like in 2009. And also because you get access to the Uncharted 4 beta. So it all sounds good until I found out that there was no multiplayer. Upon which I was scratching my head going, wow. I mean, shit, Sony, you're really trying to push it, aren't you? Look, there's got to be a lot of things to talk about, but let's start with why Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, should have multiplayer. I understand that this is meant to be a way of getting Xbox and Wii owners who didn't have the PlayStation 3 into the series to understand the story. But that's kind of retarded because each Uncharted story is self-contained. They don't reference each other that much. They have tiny references, but not a lot. So it doesn't make sense. It's not like Halo 5 where you're gonna need to know what's happened in the previous games to know what the hell's going on. In Uncharted, they're self-contained stories. So it's dumb to say, oh, to familiarize you with the story, because you don't need to be. I didn't play Uncharted 1. Yeah, I loved Uncharted 2 and I played that. And when I went to it, I didn't feel like I missed out on anything because I didn't play the first game. So let's just put that out of the way, okay? This is not for the sake of getting people into the series in that kind of way so they're up to date. This is about making money off of the people who didn't play it. And that's fine. But at the same time, to re-release the games without a major component, at least, well, for 2 and 3, the first one didn't have a multiplayer component. But to take that component out, it just confuses me because people played Uncharted multiplayer. They did. They played a lot of it. It was popular. And it was good. I liked it. For the amount that I played, I enjoyed it. And I know that there would be a lot of people who would like to play the Uncharted 2 and 3 multiplayer. Even though Uncharted 3 multiplayer was kind of unbalanced. What kind of being the understatement. But the thing is like, even if you look at it that way from like, well, you know, it's their creative decision, it just strikes me as a very strange way to do it. Now, I had one guy tell me that, well, it's because single player is the focus. So somehow that means it's okay to cut out half of the fucking game. Now, that's a bullshit excuse because for starters, yeah, Uncharted is single player focused. I care about the single player. Like, I'm not like super excited for the multiplayer. But at the same time, that's not really an excuse to cut out the content in the game. If games operated that way, then if they decided to go like, oh, let's do Call of Duty Modern Warfare collection, we'll cut out the campaigns because they're not the focus. And this guy did say to me, oh, well, no, campaigns are the focus of COD, which, come on, man, really? Really? But that's besides the point as well. If you operate on that logic of, well, it's not the major component so we can cut it out, that's just dumb. I mean, they did the same thing with ODST, like, where they re-released ODST without Firefight. Why the fuck would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you cut out a component that was major? And I didn't play ODST on the 360 because I didn't have one. But based on my understanding, that was a major component of the game. It's dumb to re-release games with taking stuff away. And you could use the excuse of, well, they got, you know, the servers and stuff. But again, that's a bullshit answer because you got to pay to play online. Pay PlayStation Plus. So shit, if they're not using that money to buy servers, then why you pay the subscription? That's right, because it's a fucking scam. I mean, this basically killed my anticipation for the Nathan Drake collection. I mean, I wasn't looking forward to it in the same way that I was looking forward to the Master Chief collection until it launched, but not in the same way because I don't know if they're remastering the graphics. I doubt they will, because they didn't really do that with The Last of Us. They just kind of upped them a little bit, as opposed to what they did with like Halo 2 Anniversary. I also just wasn't that excited because I'm not excited for remasters of games I already own. And really, the only reason I was gonna do it was like, well, if it's got all of these things and I can, like, if I can play multiplayer and get access to the Uncharted beta, then yeah, it's worth a shot. But now, why? Why would I buy it? Why would I buy a game that's half of its original content? I don't care what excuses there are, I really don't. This is something that should have had its multiplayer. I don't care how experienced the team was, I don't care what time constraints they were on, because as a consumer, I don't need to care about time constraints. I'm not making the game. It's about value for money. And if they're charging $60 for this, that's not really good value. $20 for games that are plus 4 years old, with the original being 8 years old at the end of this year. That's not good value if there's no multiplayer. I mean, Jesus Christ. The fact that people are defending this is absurd. The fact that people are defending this is absurd. Like, seriously, remasters was stupid enough and overpriced, and now you gotta defend it when they cut stuff out of the game. I don't know. I mean, it'll sell well. I mean, we know it will. Uncharted is Sony's biggest franchise, probably behind Gran Turismo and maybe God of War. It's gonna sell. But it's disappointing to see so many gamers basically say, yeah, that's fine. You can cut all that content out, that's fine. Because it's not. It really isn't.